Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business and the SillyVille editions. These are recorded live Fridays 9 p.m. Eastern at Standard Time, streaming on multiple locations. And so you can head on over to switchedtolinux.com and you can find the show streaming locations and things like that. Occasionally, of course, one of them does fail to show up, but hey, we got multiple streams in multiple places. Other thing I'm going to notice is I've been watching my analytics, and for some reason, all of the weekly news roundups view counts are really low compared to the other content. I'm trying to figure out, is that because people are people just aren't watching them because it's the weekend, or is it not as interesting? I kind of want to hear from you in the comments. Do you really appreciate the weekly news roundup? Do we need to keep it going? Do we need to change the format a little bit? What is it that could help the weekly news roundup be a better show? I certainly am open to hearing discussions on that. And with that happening, folks, let's go ahead and get right on into the news. First up, Elon Musk teases free Tesla full self-driving for a month in North America. When Elon does this, I want at least 3 weeks notice so I can make sure to drive to BLM land in the middle of a desert and not move for a month. Okay. No, we do not need every Tesla car in America all of a sudden going full self-driving mode, because we're going to see all sorts of weird stuff. There's some theories what's going on. Is it positive, just trying to get positive publicity, or in this case, full self-driving? Is it full self-driving to get, he wants to get it free to get a lot more data points so they can do a better job of developing it? Whatever the case is, what they're trying to do is he tweeted out and said, once full self-driving is super smooth, not just safe, we'll roll out a free month trial for all cars in North America, then extend the rest of the world after we ensure it works well enough on local roads and regulations to approve in that country. Of course, one of the biggest issues with this is full self-driving does not actually mean full self-driving. Okay, it doesn't mean, all right, kick this guy on, kick back, relax, go to sleep, read a book. No, you got to sit there. And if you're not doing the actual driving, but you have to sit there and ready to take over as soon as it needs you to, you are getting more tired than if you're actually driving. You're paying less attention than if you're actually driving, and you will not actually be ready to take over. Not to mention the title of full self-driving on a product that is not actually full self-driving is ultimately problematic, and this is really where the problem of all of these different ideas of marketing strategies versus real names and things comes into place. In fact, I'll talk a little bit about this on my daily walk next week on the Christian show. The word Texas Receptacus, everyone's like, this is the one handed down by God. Texas Receptacus was a marketing ploy. 1600s marketing ploy, and it worked. We'll get into that on the Christian show. But that being said, and if you don't know where that is, it is at ourwalkinchrist.com, OURwalkinchrist.com. It's on all the different alt tech platforms as well. So with that, that is what Elon is up to. YouTube is attempting to block your ad blocker in a new experiment. They are trying to force users to allow ads. Now, here's one of those problems that people started running ad blocker on YouTube because YouTube is getting so aggressive. Some people were reporting 10 unskippable ads. Like, okay, if you're going to sit there and make me watch a minute and a half of unskippable content, I'm going to go watch something else for a while. Thank you. And so they're trying to detect the various ad blockers. As of right now, they're not specifically detecting uBlock Origin, but it's kind of on the note. And they're also rolling this out in a very small number of people for testing. Just like if you guys have not seen the new format they're trying to roll out, which is the most abominable garbage I've ever seen in my life. Fortunately, my Switch to Linux channel does not have it, but my Christian channel does. And every single time you click on a video, you like left click on a video to watch it, you get this new format where they have like this unlimited scrolling list of crap videos rolling down the bottom and a little bit of detail on the side. I don't even know where the comments are. It is so horrendously ugly. I cannot even stand looking at it. But as of right now, if you see that, simply refresh the page. It will revert it back to the old version of YouTube. Well, the current version of YouTube. So they're rolling these out to certain users. So you might be part of this group. You might not be. But they're trying to get around the ad blockers because it's like, oh, people are using the ad blockers and it's causing a problem. Yeah, we're using the ad blockers because you cannot watch your YouTube without the ad blockers anymore. If it was sane, if you're going to put one ad at the beginning of the video and allow me to skip it after a few seconds, you know what? I think a fewer people might have them. But they also started going in and putting an ad like every 2 minutes in a video. Oh, my Lord. Yes, I'm running ad blockers. And the day they completely kill ad blockers, I will cease to watch videos on YouTube. Unless I absolutely have to, which I'm already watching half my content on alt tech platforms anyway. So, you know, they just keep on putting nails in their coffin. Oh, well. Rise the big tech, I guess. Rise the big tech. SwitchedTolinux.com. Go to the very bottom of the page. You'll see the links to all of the alt tech we are using. Also, links to our Matrix server. If you are wanting to join in the Switch to Linux community, you can head on down there with any Matrix client and get on into that. Also, YouTube is trying to push itself inside of more cars. Starting with the Polestar, this is an update to the Google built-in car infotainment systems, which, by the way, are based on Linux. Very nice. Somewhere in this article it indicates they're based on Linux. So that's totally awesome. But what they're trying to do here is on these infotainment systems, of course, while the car is stopped, you can sit here and watch YouTube videos. Great. So we don't need this kind of stuff in cars. We need cars to be cars. Okay. And if you want like YouTube in your car, I have a solution for you. Get a van like I did, put house batteries in it, solar panels, start living in it, and then when you're legitimately not even remotely close to driving because your steering wheel is shut down and you're in a safe legal parking spot, I go to the back, I turn on the internet, and I got YouTube on a 24-inch screen in my car, okay? I already have YouTube in my car. I just don't want YouTube in the front seat of a car because I think that's more problematic. And how long before hackers allow us to get it by, and then we're getting all sorts of people crashing because they're over there watching videos instead of paying attention to the road. You know, that is how the person died in the Uber self-driving car when the lady was supposed to be watching the road and she was watching, what was she watching? Like America's Got Talent or something on her phone instead of paying attention to the road and thump, thump. And that's how it happens, you folks. That's how it happens. But yeah, YouTube is getting put into more cars, starting with Polestar. There you go. And on to our final two stories here. Microsoft is trying to push Edge into absolutely anything and everything it possibly can. Let's cram Edge in everything. So the first thing they are doing is anything with Outlook or Teams, regardless of what your default browser is, everything in Outlook or Teams is now being defaulted to open in Edge. It doesn't care what you are using. It doesn't care your preference. It's simply going to push everything into Edge because it wants you to use Edge. You will use Edge. You will use Edge. You will use Edge. I need to find something. Do I have anything that would be? Here you go. Here you go. You will use Edge. You will use Edge. You will use Edge. That's what Microsoft is doing right now. They're trying to cram it into everything. Microsoft Edge is a good browser. Already the Verge is off base. No, it's not. It's a Microsoft browser. It's the #1 browser to download a better browser. But for some reason, Microsoft keeps trying to shove it down everyone's throat and make it more difficult to use rivals like Chrome or Firefox. Microsoft has now started notifying IT admins that it will force Outlook and Teams to ignore the default web browser on Windows and open links in Microsoft Edge instead. Reddit users have posted a message from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center that reveals how Microsoft is going to roll out the change. Web links from Azure Active Directory accounts and Microsoft MSA accounts in the Outlook for Windows app will open in Microsoft Edge in a single view, showing the open link side by side with the email it came from, and it will not affect the default browser. It just won't be the default browser for links opened in any of those applications. So there you have it, guys. If you want one more reason to stop using Microsoft crap, there is your reason. But that's not all. Microsoft versus Google spat sees users rolling back security updates. There is a security update, and the update is KB5025221. And this security update, what it's going to do is it's going to interfere with your default browser. It's going to make it really easy to set Edge as your default browser, but really hard to set anything else. And if you open Chrome and it is your default browser, it's going to open up those settings panel every single time, telling you should use Edge. So people found if you remove that update, again, that update is KB5025221. Remove that, and we don't know what else it does, but it does get rid of that stupid behavior. So if Chrome is set as the default browser, clicking on the link shortcut will open a link in Chrome, but also opens the Windows settings on the default app. Everyone knows where the behavior comes from. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen if we change the default browser to Edge. So elsewhere, someone writes this comment: opening Chrome causes default app settings to open each and every time. After today's cumulative update for Windows 10 and 11 2304, every time I open Chrome, the default app settings of a Windows will open. I've tried many ways to resolve without luck. This happens on all 600 systems with the update. Removing the update makes the issue go away. Anyone else having this issue? This does not occur when opening Edge or Brave only, just for Chrome. So there's another solution. Use Brave. It's a better browser than Chrome anyway. So quick glance at this, at the replies, illustrates that Todd isn't the only one impacted. Good morning, Todd. We are having the same issue through our organization as well. We're on Windows 10 machines, pushed the update last couple days. Many machines here are seeing the issue. We have just found a fix. Remove security update KB5025221 and restart. This removes the problem. Looks to have fixed several machines just in the past few minutes. May need to block KB5025221 until it is reissued. So there you have it, guys. Microsoft is pushing Edge on everybody, and if you're using Chrome, it's like, no, you won't be using Chrome. We're going to pop up this kind of stuff because we really want you to use Chrome, or Edge, excuse me. Man, I messed up the ending of my thing. Oh, well. That's what happens because sometimes I talk faster than I think, but I don't know. Maybe I just talk too fast. Who knows? Well, the other thing I really want you to use is we do have affiliates. Today we're highlighting NordVPN. If you are in need of a VPN, I am not in the camp that everybody needs a VPN. You will need a VPN if you are constantly at coffee shops or using publicly available Wi-Fi. A VPN is going to secure your connection. You will need a VPN if you are needing to break out of a geo restriction. Maybe you need to change your IP address. Maybe you want to protect yourself from your ISP. If you think your ISP may be spying on you, a VPN is a good way to get around that. Of course, a VPN will just allow the VPN company to spy on you, so you have to weigh those risks and decisions yourself. And unlike guys like Ben Shapiro will say, use this VPN and you will have all your data protected. That is not true. Once you log in, they know who you are. So don't do it for that reason. But definitely security, definitely geo restrictions, definitely IP changes, and definitely if you think your ISP is problematic. Those are all good reasons to have a VPN. So if you do need a VPN, consider using Nord, tlm.li/Nord. And that will get you a good discount off of the plan. Of course, it says here, this is ending in 8 hours. Trust me, in 8 hours, it's going to reset. So there's no rush to buy it now. So in the future, if you're watching this later, 8 hours after this video has been released, tlm.li/Nord is still going to give you a good deal. So that's called dark patterns. It's actually illegal in some countries, but hey, whatever. I tell you the truth around here. With that, though, guys, let's go ahead and head on over to SillyVille, everyone's favorite city to go. And tonight on SillyVille, I just had to start with this one because of the blah factor, and we got to have the blah factor in the videos. A Nashville Hilton hotel guest wakes up to a manager sucking on his toes, and people want to know why I travel in my own private van. Okay, the only thing I might have worry about sucking on my toes when I wake up in the morning is my cat. Yeah, you. And if my cat's over there licking my toes in the morning, so what? It's a cat, okay? And that has never happened. But this guy, Peter Brennan, was soundly sleeping in his room at a Hilton downtown Nashville hotel. He woke up to a man sucking on his toes. Ugh. According to Brennan and the police, that man was 52-year-old David Neal, the manager of the hotel. So your hotel man, like, did he find this guy at random? Did he look through pictures? Was he on a fetish looking for a young businessman? Was it just popped into the room, saw a guy sleeping there, go, let's suck on this guy's toes? I don't know. I was in Nashville for a work conference. He said, I woke to a gentleman. This is not a gentleman, okay? A gentleman, an employee, assaulting me. No, this is not a gentleman, okay? This is not a gentleman. This is a freak. Okay, so I instantly jumped up and was screaming, went into a sort of fact-finding mode. Who are you? Why am I in my room? What are you doing here? My first question is, why the hell are you sucking on my toes? I could see he was wearing a uniform and he had a name tag on. He was talking to me, but not giving any substantive answers. You think? Well, sorry, I just bust into everybody's hotel room and suck on their toes. Police have charged Neal with aggravated burglary and assault. And they say here, I'm sorry, but while this is an alleged before conviction, this guy looks exactly like the type of creep who would sneak into your room like Gollum to live out some sick toe-sucking fetish. Agreed. This guy looks crazy. So the lawyer for this businessman, they are suing both this person and they are actually suing the hotel, citing we found multiple crimes, felonies, prison time, court decisions, said Michael Fisher, Brennan's attorney with the Rocky Mahaley law firm. They have to be very careful who you give access to and this ability to create guest key cards for any room in the hotel. And so Brennan says he doesn't feel safe sleeping even in his own tone. Why are you afraid of sleeping in your own home? Okay. See, if you live in a sane state, if I wake up in the state of Pennsylvania and there's some stranger sucking on my toes, okay, he gets 9 and it is called justified. Okay. Now, if you live in California, like I don't feel safe around here because my government doesn't want me safe. But Nashville downtown is independently owned and operated by a third party and no Hilton entity employs staff at this property. Safety and security of our guests is a top priority. We just hire toe suckers. So, yeah, think about that. Yeah. So that was definitely good. No real technology angle. That story is just too ridiculous not to include. I did not get a chance to read this one fully. This was sent to me in this morning, and I very, very rarely add articles added to my news recommendations Friday morning because my news is done Thursday night. I just thought this was too good to pass up, especially since my new gaming computer is built on a Kingston SSD, so it makes me wonder. But Kingston's SSD firmware has Coldplay lyrics written within it. Interesting. So my SSD that my little old wine-based video game player has on it very well has some lyrics to this rock song. I don't think I've ever heard of this rock song, but okay. What's firmware have to do with pop rock? The only thing I can think of is what's love got to do with it? Or if you're in what's kind of never mind. The less we say about that, the better. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good. All right. That's the question that crossed security researchers' mind as he analyzed Kingston's firmware and stumbled upon the lyrics of a popular Coldplay song buried deep within it. Researchers, surprised by the finding, reached out to Bleeping Computer, disclosing the details of the firmware version and the Coldplay song. Kingston is a household name known for flash memory products, including hard drives, USB drives, and card readers. How cool, the firmware that sings. Iowa-based security researcher Nicholas Stark reached out to Bleeping Computers after he analyzed a few bytes of an SSD drive controller firmware distributed by Kingston. It left him astonished. So here is the checksum text, release notes. Here's the bin. Here's the task file. While the content of the zip file hardly raises eyebrows and contains release notes along with a working firmware.bin file, what's inside the bin file you can't unsee. So come to meet me. You'll tell I'm sorry. You don't know how. This is inside the bin file. Okay, then. I found Coldplay lyrics inside the controller. Let's see. Free firmware versions SKC 2000 star typically run on PCI Express solid state products such as these guys here. And released in January 2020, the specific version delivers improvements, data storage, and apparently can play songs on the background. So that's fascinating, interesting to see. Let's talk about music, though, in devices. A Pixes apologizes for sabotaging your Google Assistant alarm. So if you're using a Google Pixel and you want to set an alarm, they have a shortcut in the alarm. So instead of saying, hey, Google, stop, you can just say stop. The problem is it picks up lyrics and songs sometimes. And so this particular one, last few years, you've been able to say stop to tell Google Assistant to end the alarm early without the need to preface your command with, hey, Google. Handy feature. Google first debuted on the Assistant-enabled smart display and speakers before rolling out to Pixel smartphones. Works like a charm. Although one person recently discovered a fun quirk of the feature involves the Pixies classic, Where's My Mind? Reddit post spotted by Android police. Pixel used Asservate. Okay. Recounts how their morning alarm would go off and sometimes just turn off moments later, seemingly for no reason. Maybe once every week or so, I'd wake up 30 minutes later on my backup alarm with no indication as to why it shut itself off the first time. So earlier, he decided to wake up early to get to the bottom of the issue. Thankfully, it didn't take long for him to find the culprit. The alarm was set to play a Spotify playlist that features Where's My Mind? If you're a Pixies fan, Pixel and Pixie, great. You'll know exactly where this is going. The Surfer Rosa cut opens with a bassist vocalist singing ooh before he says stop. And the song, following a brief pause, then continues. That lyric caused it to stop. I'm wondering if the Pink Floyd song, is the Pink Floyd song called Stop, or is that I think it's called Stop. That's pretty much one lyric. It starts with stop. I want to go home. Take off this uniform and leave the show. Yeah, that song there. It starts with stop. So I'm wondering if that song might also trigger it. They did say that Stop Me Now by Queen does not trigger it, probably because they're saying that the stop in that moves too fast on it. But I'm wondering, now I'm completely messed up. So one of you guys are going to have to let me know in the comments, is the name of that song Stop? That's not right. That's not the name of that song. But I'll figure it out in a bit. All right, but anyway, so if you're playing a song with stop clearly seen on a Google Alarm Spotify playlist, it might shut your alarm off. Just be aware of that. So a YouTuber accused of deliberately crashing a plane for views. Trevor Jacob, 29, faces up to 20 years in prison after purposefully destroying wreckage of a small plane he crashed in 2021. So he's flying this over in one of the deserts in California. He rigs up a lot of cameras onto the plane. He crashes the plane intentionally. He parachutes out with a selfie stick, of course, doing a lot of pictures there, crashes the plane. And then he goes to the wreckage, retrieves all the cameras from the wreckage, but then tells the FAA he doesn't know where the plane crashed. They figure out he's lying. The plane did not report any attempts to restart the engine. They didn't report any real problems. They determined, yes, he intentionally crashed the plane so he can make a really cool video on YouTube. So now the 20-year sentence, this, by the way, is a plea bargain deal. He got off easy. So he parachuted out of the plane before it crashed, uploaded a video to YouTube documenting the incident. He initially told investigators his plane lost power and he did not know where the wreck was, but the story drew doubts from aviation experts and federal authorities. They later found Jacob made no attempt to call air traffic to restart his engine or to search for a safe place to land. All things you have to do in an airline emergency. YouTuber who describes himself as an experienced pilot and skydiver never intended to complete his solo flight from Lompoc Airport in Southern California to Mammoth Lakes and Sierra Nevada mountains. He admitted to in his plea agreement. Prior to taking off on 24 November 21, Jacob mounted several video cameras on different parts of his plane and equipped himself with a parachute, video camera, and selfie stick. About 35 minutes into the flight, he jumped from the plane and began filming the aircraft as it plunged into the dry brush below. He touched ground and hiked to the crash site, retrieved the footage from the crash. 2 days later, he informed NTSB of the plane crash and told investigators with the NTSB and the Federal Aviation Administration he did not know where the wreckage was. On 10 December 21, however, he and a friend flew to the crash site and towed the crash plane to Santa Barbara County, where Jacob put it in a hangar. After several days, he destroyed sections of the plane and placed parts in the trash can around the airport and elsewhere, which authorities say he admitted to doing in order to mislead investigators. He uploaded a video titled, "I Crashed My Plane," to YouTube on 23rd December 21. Following April, after investigators uncovered his lies, FAA revoked his pilot's license. Well, that's good. Jacob's video of the crash has been viewed 3 million times. I hope he's not profiting off of that. So there you have it, guys. If you need some serious clickbait, you can always just get your pilot's license and crash a plane. I will warn you, that is highly illegal. Don't do that. In fact, I would say any form of prank, don't even do. Do not do, like, these YouTube prank channels. Guys, don't even support these morons. All right? Some guy comes up and tries to prank me. Yeah, we're going to have some problems. All right. Well, if you want to help to support the channel, we do have a Subscribestar page. Subscribestar.com/switchedtolinux. You can join us on over there. Particularly if you're not a huge fan of Patreon, although Patreon is also a really good option as well. With that, thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.